Good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. The revision PDF are uploaded on this Telegram channel. Now we have started a new channel, Civils Academy. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. Now let's start. Which international organization conducted the event on restoring cross-border mobility? So this was organized by WEF, that is World Economic Forum. Now because of coronavirus pandemic, there was lockdown. Now to restore the cross-border mobility means movement from one country to another country. So to restore this, World Economic Forum organized an event, and recently Union Health Ministry addressed the event. The objective is to reopen borders and enable essential travel in a safe and sustainable method. Recently, this World Economic Forum was also in news because of Addition Alliance. So this alliance has been set up by World Economic Forum to reduce the digital divide. The alliance is covered in detail in 1st February video. Now, WEF, that is World Economic Forum, was also in news because of partnering for racial justice in business. So this is new initiative of World Economic Forum to reduce or to eliminate the racial justice in business. It was also in news because of Global Risk Report. That means World Economic Forum released this Global Risk Report recently. India conducted a joint forum meet with which country under its Act East policy? So recently India conducted its 5th Act East forum meeting with Japan. The meeting was co-chaired by Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla. So Mr. Shringla is our Foreign Secretary. Mr. S. Jaishankar is our Minister of External Affairs. Now, there are two terms. First is Look East and second term is Act East. So this Look East policy was launched by former Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao in 1991. The main intention of this policy was to give more priority to the countries which are in eastern side of India. That means the Asian countries. Later, this Look East policy was upgraded to Act East policy by the current Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. So Look East was launched by Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao and Act East was launched by Mr. Modi. And this was launched during East Asia Summit in 2014. And this summit held in Myanmar. Recently, Myanmar was in news because of military coup. Coup means the military of Myanmar took over the civil administration. And the leader of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, was detained. Now coming back to Japan, recently Japan was also in news because of Five Eyes Alliance, as Japan is planning to join this alliance. It is an intelligence sharing network of 5 countries. These 5 countries are US, Canada, UK, New Zealand and Australia. What does our stand in STARS project that has been co-sponsored by World Bank? So, what is STARS? It is strengthening teaching, learning and results for the states. So, the objective is to improve the quality of education in 6 selected states. This is a project by Ministry of Education, and for this project, it has collaborated with World Bank. So, World Bank is going to provide the financial support for this project. Project is for the improvement of quality of education in 6 states of our country. Recently, it was in news because the agreement for the financial support of the project was signed with World Bank. And this project will be implemented by Department of School Education. This Department of School Education is under Ministry of Education. Now recently, this Ministry of Education was in news because of new education policy. And in this new education policy, there is an autonomous body named Parakh for assessment. So this is for assessment and review. The full form of Parakh is Performance Assessment, Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. And this project, that is the STARS project, will be implemented through Smagar Shiksha scheme. Smagar means holistic or overall. As per the report released by Alvarez and Marsal India, what is the average time taken for the resolution in India under IBC as on September 2020? What is IBC? IBC is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. So suppose there is a firm A1. It took loan, but business was not sustainable, so it filed for the bankruptcy. Now, in how much time this entire process will be solved and this entire process will be over? The question is that the average time taken for resolution of such firms is 440 days. This is on the basis of a report by Alvarez and Marsal India. What is IBC? It is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. What is NCLT? It is National Company Law Tribunal. Now the problem is that 440 days is too much time, and therefore there should be a time-bound resolution of stressed assets. Now recently this IBC, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, was also in news because of Section 32A. Recently Supreme Court upheld the validity of this Section 32A. Now answer in comment box what is the objective of this Section 32A. We had already covered this in our previous videos. Which ministry has recently introduced changes to the Corporate Social Responsibility rules? So the CSR is related to Companies Act, and Companies Act is related to MCA, that is Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Recently, MCA introduced certain changes to the CSR rules, and one such change is impact assessment. Now first thing first, what is CSR? So as the name suggests, it is the social responsibility of corporates. That means corporates need to take certain social initiatives. For example, a corporate company is financing a project of child education or a project of sanitation. Now what will be the impact of this project? This is called as impact assessment. That means how this project is going to change the life of people. So under the new rules, it is mandatory to disclose all the CSR projects which are taken by a particular company, and it is also mandatory to show the information of CSR committee composition of that company. Now what is the CSR committee? See, every company, those who are involved in CSR, they will have to constitute a committee, and this committee will suggest that companies should take this project or that project. Now India is the first country in the world to mandate CSR spending, and this is as per the provisions of Clause 135 of Companies Act. Now certain factual information. The CSR provision is applicable to the companies with annual turnover of 1000 crore rupees or more, or net worth of 500 crore rupees or more, or net profit of 5 crore or more. Now as per this act, the companies should spend 2% of their average net profit in the previous 3 years on CSR activities. Now in the first instance, this may seem very technical, but in a lot of state exams, they do ask direct questions from the CSR Act. So please go through these technicalities. One more thing, the CSR activities are specified in the Schedule 7 of this Companies Act. That means which activities are allowed under CSR. This is specified in the Schedule 7. Which tech major has announced the proprietary technology for charging multiple electronic devices in wireless mode. That means the technology of charging different electronic devices without any wire or any cable. So recently this Chinese technology company Xiaomi was in news. It has announced Mi Air Charge. This is a new wireless charging technology that has been patented by the company. So with this technology, multiple electronic devices can be charged without any cable or any port or any wireless charging stand. Now the company has announced that this is still in the concept phase and it will take a lot of time to be commercially available. Now what is the meaning of this term proprietary technology? It means it is the property of that particular company. Which construction major has bagged the contract for the construction of steel bridges for the Mumbai and Ahmedabad bullet train project? So this has been bagged by L&T Construction. So it is going to build the steel bridges for the Mumbai and Ahmedabad bullet train project, and this project has been bagged as a consortium. Consortium means a group of companies. So one is L&T and another is Japan's IHI Infrastructure Systems. Now few important points about Mumbai Ahmedabad high speed rail corridor. So it will connect Mumbai and Ahmedabad, and the operator, that means the train operator, is National High Speed Rail Corporation Limited, and the name of trains which will be used is E5 series Shinkansen train. So this is how these trains are going to look. And for this project, India has partnered with Japan. As per the Economic Survey 2020-21, what would be the India's GDP growth rate in fiscal year 21-22? So India's GDP growth rate is going to be 11% in fiscal year 21-22. In the current fiscal year, the growth is minus 7.7%. Recently, economic survey was tapered. Now, this economic survey is annual document which is prepared by the DEA, that is Department of Economic Affairs, and this DEA is under Finance Ministry. Actually, under Finance Ministry, there are several departments. One is Department of Economic Affairs, another is Department of Expenditure, another one is Department of Revenue. So this is expenditure side, this is revenue side. Then we have DFS, that is Department of Financial Services. And last one is DIPAM, that is Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. So this is related to the sale of PSUs. This is for providing different financial services. This is for revenue side, this is for expenditure side, and this is for economic affairs. This economic survey is prepared by Department of Economic Affairs under the guidance of CEA, that is Chief Economic Advisor. Who is our present Chief Economic Advisor? He is K. Subramaniam, that is Krishnamurthy Subramaniam. The government of India has approved the closure of its state-owned company recently. So this is the Scooters India Limited. Recently, central government approved the closure of this company. This was incorporated in 1972 and the headquarters is in Lucknow. So this was manufacturing scooters and this was facing loss, and that is why now it will be closed. Recently, Lucknow was in news as Lucknow Metro became the first metro in our country to sanitize metro coaches using UV rays. First metro to have driverless train is Delhi Metro. First underwater metro project is in Kolkata Metro. Now, one more thing. Recently, central government announced new policy for the public sector undertakings. And as per this policy, government is going to have these public sector undertakings only in strategic sectors. And in non-strategic sectors, these PSU will be privatized. Now, recently, budget was announced, and in that budget, it was announced that except 4 sectors, PSU in all other sectors will be privatized. And for this year, the disinvestment target is of 1.75 trillion, which state has recently reduced the VAT. VAT stands for value added tax rate for petrol and diesel by 2%. Now, one important point is that this name of state is not so important for central exams, but you need to remember that right now petrol, diesel and other fuels are outside the purview of GST. This is important. So since they are outside the purview of GST, the state governments impose tax on these fuels and state government determine the VAT on these fuels. What is VAT? It is value added tax. So recently Rajasthan reduced the VAT on petrol and diesel, and this was reduced by 2%. So that is why you might have seen that the price of these fuels is different in different states. Why so? Because the VAT is imposed by the state government. So some state government may impose a higher tax, some may impose a lower tax. Now recently this petrol and diesel was also in news as during budget it was announced that Agri-Cess or Agri-Infrastructure Cess will be imposed on the petrol and diesel. So on petrol, the Agri-Infra Cess of rupee 2.5 will be imposed per litre, and this is 4 rupee per litre. Now what is the meaning of this term cess? It means this money will be collected for specific purpose. What is the purpose? Purpose is agriculture infrastructure development. So on every litre of petrol, government is going to collect 2.5 rupees separately for the infrastructure of agriculture sector. Now one important thing is that though the Agri-Infra Cess is imposed on these fuel, the government has said that this will not increase the cost for customer. Why so? Because government has reduced the excise duty on these fuels. Recently, Rajasthan was also in news because of M-Send policy. It was also in news because of Indira Rasoi Yojana. What is the corpus of Startup India Seed Fund Scheme which was approved recently? So, it is 945 crore rupees. This is a new fund which has been approved by the government and it is Startup India Seed Fund. Recently, Prarambh Summit was organized by the Commerce Ministry and during that summit it was announced. Now it has been approved, that's why it was in news. This Prarambh Summit was organized to commemorate the 5 years of Startup India scheme. This scheme was launched in 2016. It is a scheme related to Department of Commerce, and for this Prarambh Summit, BIMSTEC was the key partner. The headquarters of BIMSTEC is in Dhaka in Bangladesh. Recently, Bangladesh was in news because the tri-service contingent from Bangladesh participated in our Republic Day parade. Recently, startup was also in news because of Startup Council, and this council is chaired by Commerce Minister. Recently, this term seed was also in news because of SWDS. So this is the name of organization which recently won Aapda Prabandhan Puruskar in institutional category. SEEDS stands for Sustainable Environment and Ecological Development Society. Now answer in comment box who won this Aapda Prabandhan Puruskar in individual category. So these were the most important questions. Now we are going to cover important news events. So first is related to Indian Coast Guard. So on 1st of February, it celebrated its Raising Day. This was 45th Raising Day. Indian Coast Guard is under MOD, that is Ministry of Defense. Next is ASEAN India Hackathon. So this was organized by Ministry of Education. ASEAN is an association of 10 Asian countries, and the short form for that is BPLTV MMICS. Next is Arun Hydropower Project. So this is related to Nepal. Recently, Nepal awarded this project to Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam of India. This is a hydropower project. Next is India Justice Report. So this report is prepared by Tata Trust. As per this report, Maharashtra is on top position in justice delivery. So this was the second edition of this report. Maharashtra is on top position and it is followed by Tamil Nadu and Telangana. Next is India International Silk Fair. So this silk fair was organized by India Silk Export Promotion Council. This is under Textiles Ministry. Now this is India's biggest silk fair, and this silk fair was organized by this India Silk Export Promotion Council, and Commerce Ministry sponsored this. Now please note that India is the only country where all the 4 major varieties of silk are produced. What are these 4 major varieties of silk? This is Mulberry, Ari, Tussar and Muga. So these are the varieties of silk, and all these 4 varieties are produced in our country. Next is related to Niti Aayog. So recently Niti Aayog released a vision document for the sustainable development of Little Andaman Island. Next is related to Paul Crutzen. So he was the Dutch chemist and he passed away recently. He won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1995. Now he was the one who warned about ozone hole. Now for the protection of ozone, there is a Vienna Convention and there is a Montreal Protocol. The formula of ozone is O3. Next is related to 15th Finance Commission. So recently 15th Finance Commission submitted its final report. Finance Commission is a constitutional body. It is constituted as per the provisions of Article 280. This was 15th Finance Commission. Chairperson of this Finance Commission was Mr. N.K. Singh. Now this 15th Finance Commission recommended the vertical devolution of 41%. Vertical devolution means devolution of financial resources from central government to different states. Last news is related to DICGC, that is Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. So why this DICGC was in news? Because recently RBI cancelled the license of Shivam Sehkari Bank. This is a Kolhapur based bank. Kolhapur is in Maharashtra. Now since license has been cancelled, so now depositors will be given the money as per the provisions of DICGC, that is Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. Now answer in comment box how much amount is insured as per DICGC. Now test questions for 2nd of January. Answer these questions if you want to. Do not answer these questions if you do not want to. So first question is, Environment Ministry recently released a National Action Plan for conservation of which species? Second question is, India launched the Year of Environment with which friendly country? Third question is, which organization has released Climate Risk Index? And what is India's rank? Next question is, which Indian monument was lit or light up on 30th of January to observe the neglected tropical disease day? Now, one hint for you, this monument is in Delhi. Fifth question is, Amrit Mahotsav, which was seen in news, is the celebration of which event? Next question is, what is India's rank in the Corruption Perception Index 2020? This index is released by Transparency International. It is a Berlin-based institution. Next question is, what is the rank of India in the COVID-19 Performance Index, which was released by Sydney-based Lowy Institute? Next question is, what is India's rank in Asia Pacific Personalized Health Index, which was released by Economic Intelligence Unit? The headquarters of this EIU is in London in UK. Next question is, Adopt a Heritage is a scheme implemented by Tourism Ministry in association with which Union Ministry? Next question is, India's first pollinator park has been established in which Indian state? And last question is, which state's municipal corporation partnered with UNDP India to launch India's first social impact bond? So these three questions are from January month, and rest questions were covered in last 2 or 3 days. Now, if you are not able to answer these questions, that means either you are following too much sources and you are not revising properly, or you are not even reading properly. Thank you, and that's all for the day.